Hey there, it's Chris. I want to share a story that I heard with you that I got a chuckle out of, but it really kind of outlined a bigger issue that I think a lot of us are thinking about. And if you're not, I hope that you would think about it. So, a family member went to Target this morning and she was shopping for some clothing. And she picked up a pair of shorts and then, decided she didn't want them, so she was going to put them back. And a worker came up to her and said, "You touched those shorts, so now you have to buy them." Now, keep in mind, Target put a policy in place that you cannot use the fitting room. Okay? So she couldn't try these on. So she picked them up. She decided they weren't going to work. She puts them back. The worker says, "You touched them. Now you have to purchase them." So she said, "No, I don't have to purchase them. I don't want them." It ended with her going up to the manager and telling the manager, this is really a hypocritical way of thinking. I'm not allowed to try it on. You're going to attempt to force me to purchase something because I touched it. But then I'm going to go home and try it on. It's not going to fit, and I'm going to bring it back anyway. And you'll accept my return? Does that make any sense? So it just made me laugh because we have a lot of these kind of policies going into place that people aren't thinking about rationally. And there's really no, everyone wants to say follow the science. There's no scientific basis for making you purchase a pair of shorts that you touched. Literally no scientific basis for that. So it really made me laugh, but it also really made me sad for the state of things that we are in right now. I've been frustrated for a while. Some of you know this. I've been frustrated for a while. I know there's a lot of people frustrated for a variety of reasons, and I'm going to talk about some things right now that I acknowledge right now. A lot of you will say that I'm crazy. And I'm okay with that. I first want to acknowledge that I understand and accept that people are getting sick. I understand and accept that for a certain population of people, it ends in devastating consequences of death. I am so deeply sorry to those of you who have been affected by someone dying from this illness or being hospitalized and severely sick. In no way do I want to take away from that fact, but I think that we're in a really precarious place right now, and we have a lot of other things at stake if we don't begin to think critically, and if we don't begin to think beyond the fear of getting sick. Because the reality is, there are many virus and bacteria that could take any one of us out at any time. That's Earth, okay? Most of us have an immune system that is strong enough to handle those things that we come in contact with. It's a beautiful thing, right? Now, there are times where we will have another underlying illness or some reason why our immune system cannot handle that. And sometimes that virus or that bacteria is just powerful. I'm not discrediting that at all, okay? But I want us to think about how history repeats itself, because it does. And if we're not careful, we're the ones contributing to it. So I came across this outline or blueprint, maybe, of things in the past. And I'm going to try to relate it to where we're at today. I'm not going to say what event this was, because for some people, that's a big trigger. I'll let you determine if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so first step in this blueprint. A problem that is happening in society, and offer solutions to those problems. That's step one in the historical blueprint. So our problem is that we have a virus that is making people sick and killing people, okay? And so the powers that be, let's say government, okay? So government determines to offer solutions to the nation to solve the problem. Step number two, the government will downplay any part of the solutions that might seem a little extreme. So when I look at that piece, I look at the numerous videos going around, the video clips of interviews with a certain individual who is recommending microchipping, interviews with another government individual who is proposing vaccination certificates in order for people to move about. So those are extreme. So they're going to downplay anything that of any part of the solution that might seem extreme. So those were the first two steps. Third step, use technology available at the time to reach as many people as you can with the solutions that you're going to offer. And through reaching people, people are getting on board with you, okay? Number 4, gain broad support for your solutions in the middle class. This class is the people most affected financially and socially. So if you can get the middle class on board, you're golden, okay? Number 5, invoke emergency rule to restrict or suspend basic civil rights and constitutional protections in order to provide the ability for police action if necessary to protect the nation. Number 6, create a new government and target any political opponents. Okay, so if you stop and think, this has been happening for a while, right? We have political parties and individuals who have been discrediting and attacking each other for a while now. And we have seen viewpoints on both sides becoming more and more extreme. Where if we had seen these particular viewpoints 10 or 15 years ago, we would have been shocked. And now the viewpoints being presented, we are so desensitized to, and we go, well, yes, this must be right, because this is what I've been hearing for a while. So when a new government is forming, and the propaganda that gets put out through technology, citizens begin to willingly accept what is being fed to them because they think it's for their own protection. Because, remember, the government determined that there's a problem. For us, it's a virus. And they're offering a solution. They're going to protect us and save us. So why wouldn't we follow their lead? Number 7, on the blueprint, civil servants will follow the directives of those in charge, and that is not necessarily always following the Constitution. So those civil servants will then carry out those directives and dole out punishment for those who do not comply. So think about the people getting arrested for going surfing by themselves in the ocean, or people who are going to buy food and they're being told, you cannot buy food unless you're wearing a mask, or you'll be fined or incarcerated. I mean, that's just a couple of examples. There are so many more, okay? But just think about the things that you have heard recently. Number 8, the economy plummets, unemployment skyrockets, but government launches a huge public works campaign to restore and strengthen those that are unemployed. Well, we just had a major stimulus package go out. Everyone getting checks from the government because they're unemployed, and the government is going to take care of them with $1,200. Okay? Number 9, segregate the population. The word segregate's a big, scary word, but if you really think about it, it's happening, okay? Demonize people in the population that are not in compliance with the greater order of things. So right now, that would be people who go out in public and don't wear a mask, or people who go out in public and aren't wearing gloves. You hear it on the news every day when they're doing a news story. They will always say, and they weren't wearing a mask, and they weren't even wearing gloves, and they're not standing 6 feet apart. They had more than 4 people in a group, right? So giving the perception that if an individual is not wearing a mask, that we must want someone to die. We must be evil and not care about anyone else but ourselves. So they're segregating people, dividing people, and causing you to be fearful of someone and maybe even turn them in. Does it sound familiar yet? This also labels the people who do wear masks or do wear gloves or who do stay at home and never leave their house as the ones that are superior and the only ones who truly care about the health of the nation. Number 10, punish those who don't comply with the new way. The new way that they don't intend to have it go away. Now, if we think, like I'm in Arizona, Governor Ducey has publicly said that any restaurant not complying with his order is at risk of losing their liquor license. That's a threat. That's blackmail. People being slapped with fines or incarceration for not complying with the stay-at-home orders as outlined by the governor, which is in opposition to basic civil liberties and constitutional rights. People don't necessarily know this because they haven't dug into what the constitutional rights are. But I'm telling you, we're freely giving them up. So think also about the threat of the government official that I mentioned earlier who wants vaccination certificates. And if he gets his way, anyone not presenting a vaccination certificate cannot be out in public, cannot purchase food at a grocery store. Wow. Wow. Now, I've been having conversation with people about how willing are we to stand up for our rights, to stand up for ourselves. And a large majority of us will complain about these things. But if it came right down to thinking, oh, but I might lose my job, or I might, I don't want to be this bold, but are you willing to give up your life to protect these liberties? Because I'm telling you this, what I just outlined for you, these steps I just outlined, have happened in the past, and it led to massive loss of life for those people who did not willingly comply. Now, when I mention this to people, of course they think I'm crazy, because it could not possibly happen again in the world we live in. And I know, I listen to myself, I really do. I listen to myself and I think, oh my God, I sound insane. It is absolutely insane to me that I even have to voice this out loud. And that so many people aren't getting it. And I'm frustrated and I'm sad. And I don't know what the exact answer is, but I do know that in history it led to uprising. And that isn't happening yet, at least not to the degree that it probably should. But man, we have to think critically. We have got to think for ourselves. And I know you're scared. I know you're worried about getting sick. I know you're upset because you can't visit your parent or your grandparent in their nursing home. I know that it is devastating because you can't be with your child that is in the hospital. I know. I agree. But man, there's got to be a different way. There just has to be. I'm not proposing I have solutions. I just want us to think. I just want us to wake up. I love you all. And you can call me crazy all you want. I'll still love you. A lot of my friends don't agree with me. I still love them. I get it. It's scary to think that this might be what we're really dealing with. But anyway, I just wanted to outline it for you, where we're at, because we're smack dab in the middle of it. You can think for yourself. Let me know what you think. If you want to, that's totally okay. I just ask that you do it respectfully. If you watched this video all the way to the end, I know it's kind of a long one, but thanks so much for listening. Thank you for thinking. Thank you for loving others around you and being kind. We'll see you later.